Hi Anna.
Hi.
It's been 2 years since you released your first album. Can you say that there was some sort of shifting point when you started with this album?
What do you mean by shifting point?
Oh, that maybe sometimes when you have an album and you tour the album and then you're totally into that album, then you have to prepare to write new songs and to record new songs. Was there some starting point for this album?
Well, I was thinking about it before I finished touring the first record, and then after I finished touring, I had a few months off, and then I just started writing. And I wrote for about maybe 6 months, and then on and off I was recording after that.
So when you wrote 6 months, did you wrote many songs?
Yeah, I wrote like maybe like 40 or 50 songs.
40 or 50?
Yeah.
You have 11 on the album. Were those the best songs, or the songs that best fitted together?
I felt that they were the songs that fitted together best, and they've just felt right next to each other, so those are the ones I chose.
But the album is called One Breath. When did you come up with the album title? Was it during the recording, or afterwards, or even at the beginning?
It was after, actually. I mean, that song always felt like quite a pivotal song in the record.
Why?
Because it kind of sums up what I try and do in music, which is try and tell a story through music as much as lyrics. And so there's this feeling that it's the moment before you say something really important, it's the moment before something momentous is about to happen in your life, and it's a song just about that breath. And I never actually say what it is that I have to tell someone, but I let the music kind of suggest a story, and it's up to the listener to kind of think about what that might be. And there's also a sense of huge tension that gets built up, and then there's kind of a release at the end of the song, and that's kind of something that really interests me in music, the whole idea of tension and release.
When did you come up with this idea of this song? Do you know?
It was at some point during that year that I was writing. Just the idea came to me, and that's how it happened.
Do you know what triggered it, or?
I don't remember now.
Do you know where you were?
I was in my flat writing.
But it didn't have something to do with something that happened in your life, or maybe something you saw, or?
It was, I suppose it was, these were the kind of things that I was thinking about while I was writing, this kind of feeling of being on the edge of something, and how it's hard to know what's going to happen to you, and how much do you have control over that. And I suppose this was one of kind of a few songs on the record that kind of deals with that idea.
And do you know why? How come? Because, well, you know, your second album, or something to do with your previous years, releasing an album?
I guess stuff that happened in my life during that period drew me to write about this kind of thing.
I don't know if you want to talk about it, but is there something that you talk about that happened that triggered this theme?
It was just quite a turbulent year, and it just led me to kind of think about this kind of stuff.
Was it music-wise a turbulent year, or in your private life?
It was stuff to do with my personal life.
Okay. Something that you don't want to share?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's certain songs that deal with certain themes. Maybe I wrote down some lines from songs. I don't know if you can comment on them, but maybe we can. Well, maybe we have some theme to talk about. Eliza, I know that I could be you. Who is Eliza?
It's kind of the idea that the wish to be someone else or to find a stronger part of yourself, and it's the searching. It's just a kind of song about searching for that. The idea of seeing a woman who's just seems so kind of strong and beautiful and seems to have it all together and compared with oneself, and just wanting to be able to become them to a point where you'd actually want to give up your soul and become someone else. It's kind of surreal, you know. But I also think that she could be an element of me that I can't access.
So she isn't really a person, but she's something that you...
She's representing something rather than a person, yeah.
It's strange because when you're on stage, you feel like this Eliza.
Yeah. Maybe I am Eliza on stage, yeah. She's my alter ego.
Yeah. But do you feel this longing all the time? Or?
No, not all the time, but I think sometimes when things are hard, I think it's kind of natural to wish that you could find another part of you that could deal with the situation better than you are.
But isn't it something that maybe you learn?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Sometimes it's easier than other times to find kind of strength in situations that are hard.
But your private life is now okay?
Yeah.
No, it's good. The song "Cry." I don't know who the I and the you is, because there's a line. You know why I lie. Is it so cruel to see you cry? Is it a song about you or maybe someone else? Or?
Well, it's about trying to get emotion out of someone else, whether that's kind of in whatever way is a way of them showing their love for you, which is kind of slightly cruel, you know, about wanting someone to cry to prove that they love you, or to get angry, just trying to get a reaction out of someone.
But this is based on a personal experience.
I guess it must be. I wrote about it, yeah.
So you always write about personal...
They're always informed by things that happen in my life, yeah.
Okay. If you look back now on your previous 3 or 4 years in releasing your album and what has happened with you music-wise, career-wise, has it been always a bliss or?
Always been what?
A bliss?
A bliss?
Yeah, for you?
Do you mean, has it always been good?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? Well, I've been really lucky. Like my first album did better than I expected to, and I feel really happy to be able to be doing this and making a living out of it.
And the way your songwriting has been growing, something that you're happy about?
Yeah, I feel that I'm still developing as a songwriter.
There's one thing that I read about, I think in your bio, previous one, that you spent your first 3 years of life, you spent many time in a hospital. Mm-hmm. Is it true? Mm-hmm. What sort of music did you listen to? Do you still recall? What sort of music did your mom and dad play you, or was it just silence and silence?
Do you mean just when I was a kid?
Yeah. In the hospital.
Oh.
Do you know?
I have no idea. They probably didn't play me any music in hospital. But
That could be. Maybe they...
I mean, I have lots of memories of them playing me music, but just not specifically those times.
Okay. Why did you spend your first 3 years so much in hospital?
Well, it wasn't continually 3 years in hospital. obviously, but I was born with dislocated hips, so I had to have operations to make my hip joints work, basically.
And when were they fixed?
Like when I was 3.
Oh, 3. So then it was okay. So,
Yeah,
so you didn't have to do any walking exercises or.
I don't really know, but no, I don't think so.
Okay. What did this do to you? Do you know, or is it something that happened in your past and you don't really care about it?
Well, I think it, children deal with life by kind of having a vivid imagination, and I think I had a very vivid imagination, and I think it was probably developed even more because of those first few years where it was a way of kind of having control over the situation, was to kind of make my own world. And so in that way I'm kind of glad that it happened, because I feel like it brought that side of me out even more than it probably would have.
What sort of imagination do you have? Did you have some sort of imaginary friends or?
No, just like, if you're going to be creative, you've got to have a vivid imagination. You've got to be like, it's like when I write songs, I imagine stories, and I imagine the songs as like scenes from films, and I imagine like music as colour and shape. It's just trying to, bring out the most creative side of your kind of personality as you can.